Now you tell me which one is more scary. Five Nights at Freddy's in 2025 is a different kind of beast because there are so many different types of FNAF animations, drawings, storylines that just terrify me now because when I look deep into it now, it's a lot more scary than it was back in 2014. You saw the jump scare comparison from 2014 Bonnie to 2025 Bonnie, and that 2025 Bonnie isn't even an official Bonnie. It is a Bonnie from a fan game that pretends to be a mobile port virus. The fan base is so intertwined with the actual fan base of the canon fan base of FNAF compared to the fan base of the fan games of FNAF. They are so mixed together that they can create games that feel like they should be official, and to the point where Scott Cawthon himself has basically labeled some of these games as official. For instance, you have Five Nights at Candy's 4 being funded by Scott Cawthon. You have The Joy of Creation being funded by Scott Cawthon, or at least recognized by Scott Cawthon. This has moved to a level beyond just the official canon games and Scott Cawthon himself, to a point where the fans can make animations, Blender animations, creators who make FNAF 4 animations or games or just a book or just a photo to further expand the FNAF fan lore, the fanon. I am usually a critic of FNAF animations when it comes to analog horror, or specific creators when they do FNAF animations on horror, but what I believe on FNAF is FNAF in general is terrifying. FNAF overall is terrifying. The specific subject of analog horror in FNAF, that has to be better. It has to be mastered more. It has to be done better for me to really say it's super duper terrifying. But certain creators can make it super horrifying to even look at or just hear. The visuals, the sounds, the implied violence too. I made a video on that in the past. The implied violence of this stuff. Remember, all of this started from a single video on Scott Cawthon's channel of what looked like to be a normal indie game. That indie game turned into a massive franchise with millions of fans and pulling in hundreds of millions of dollars in the box office for Scott and for Blumhouse. And that has directly turned it into basically a fan-driven community, a fan-driven IP, because when you look at FNAF, you mostly really see fan stuff. You see fan stuff mostly. And the fan stuff can be amazing. It can also be bad too, but for the most part, it can be amazing. So if you ask me, FNAF in 2025, well, now 2026, is millions of light years ahead of what FNAF was in 2020, or not 2020, but 2014. It's not only a bigger franchise, it's way more terrifying. There's way more content to consume, way more content to make, way more games to play, way more videos to react to.